Welcome to the Sunday Times Politics Weekly, where we discuss some of the big political issues at the moment. I'm Sisanda Mbolekwa, political journalist at the Sunday Times. Thank you for listening. This week on the podcast, we are joined by Joburg Speaker Colleen Makhubele, a COPE member in good standing, who's also a person of interest in the current coalition discourse.
You asked Mr. Ramaphosa to sit down first. I'm standing.
I warn you.
I need to put on my big girl panties and keep going.
You can't have two speakers standing at the same time.
Security services of the Republic of South Africa, you may intervene.
There's been several attempts on my life.
Lower that hand.
It's not allowed.
The president is accused of serious crimes.
I know I'm going to become the president of this country.
You are going to be the president.
I am going to be the president
of South Africa.
Of South Africa. There's no confusion.
Of South Africa.
I will cancel race.
Corrupt people do not eat alone. They have a spider web.
I'm there. I can lead them. I'm ready to be the president of this country.
I now suspend the proceedings. I have warned you.
Thank you so much for your time, Speaker. We are happy to be with you today. Paint us a picture of who Colleen Makhubele is. What does your leadership represent and what does it look like?
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me, because it's a big question. Who am I first? Colleen Makhubele is a girl that comes from Guyana and born with three other siblings. I'm the third one. And post-matric, I moved to Pretoria, where I started my studies at Pretoria University until I got a scholarship with Telkom that took me to Malaysia to study BIT Informatics Engineering. That's an equivalent of your computer science. And I spent about 3.5 to 4 years in Malaysia. When I came back, I worked for Telkom, who had awarded me that scholarship. I worked for Telkom for about 3 years until I was bought over by South African Breweries then. It changed names so many times. It was SAB Miller and I don't know what it is called now, but they bought me over and I worked for South African Breweries also for about 3 to 4 years. And that's where I then qualified as a SEP consultant. And I also started my MBA with Milpark Institution, and I finished that, I think it was around 2008. And in the process as well, I studied project management with UNISA, and I have that diploma in project management. And when I left South African Bureaus, I think it was in 2006, that's when I started my own company, consulting firm. I always had it in me to be an entrepreneur, but more so because I wanted to do something that will enable me to interact more with people. I didn't enjoy being behind the computer programming and, doing all of those nice business analysis stuff, etc. And I left to start my own company. That went well, and surprisingly, my first contract was with the city of Johannesburg. Yes. I was contracted under Mindworks Consulting, and I was looking at the billing system, which is still not yet fixed. So I was a project manager looking at some of the processes, how to fix this billing system, and they wanted to implement a SEP system there. And out of that, a whole lot more opportunities came because I was very much in touch with what government wanted to do with women empowerment, especially youth. And I ventured into industries that I knew were male-dominated, and they wanted more women to participate in them. And I went to ICASA, applied for a telecoms license, which was awarded to me, and I started to look for opportunities around that, and that's when I got a contract with the Department of Communication to do their strategy and feasibility study on rolling out of broadband in the underserviced areas. And out of that as well, I ventured into the oil industry, and I partnered with the gentleman who's still my partner today, and we started what we call Mzumbe Oil. Mzumbe Oil was then awarded contracts with Transnet and, to supply their ports and the Blue Train with diesel, etc. And that was a very steep learning curve for me, and also Eskom, etc. And that is how the business grew. And because of that, the business really attracted the attention of many entities that would support it as a supplier development, like Shell, Total, etc. And I got an opportunity where I was chosen as one of the ladies that went to the United States for the Global Women's Mentorship Program. It was a program run under Hillary Clinton. And I was representing South Africa because of, my involvement in entrepreneurship, how I had grown as a businesswoman, and also the work that I was doing, in the community, because we'll take a lot of young people and expose them to the industry, and we'll sponsor some for bursaries, etc., through the business. And that was part of what they were looking for. And the idea with this program was to take women, of course, that have reached some kind of a ceiling at the level where they are, and you're looking for more growth and opportunities. And I felt that I had done the entrepreneurial thing, and what's next? Where to? How do I break out of being that SMME perhaps to larger global stuff? And that exposed me to the Fortune 500 global CEOs. These were women who took us up to under mentorship. We spent about a month in the States, in different states and different entities. For a week, you'll be paired with a different CEO of a Fortune 500 company that will expose you to, different characteristics and ideas and just areas where you need development. But I think out of that, what came out, and that was in 2017, they would do all of this. It's not psychometric tests per se. They are deeper than that. They also test your personality and a whole lot of other things and factors that, could assist you to identify where you want to go. And it was interesting that at the time, the outcome of that was saying, look, I have desires and ambitions. I'm more inclined to work in a political space, where I'm more interacting with people, helping, etc. That was, what came out of there. But I didn't see it at that time because I never imagined I would enter politics. And at the time, I just thought, okay, perhaps when the business grows, maybe I leave the CEO role. I focus more on the CSI part of the business. That will give me that opportunity to do more. But then after that, I was then approached to head the board of South African Post Office. And it was through being the chairperson of that board that truly, that was 2018, I began to understand politics. And not only that, but what pained me was, when you have to go and report in a portfolio committee as a board chairperson, and you have to present some of these complex things that we deal with, whether it's financials, how to turn around the business, some of the ideas that we want to have HR issues, etc. And the level of the people, the competency, the qualification of the people that you are dealing with would not have them clearly grasp some of the things that you are talking about. And I began to understand that we have entrusted the nation, the decision making, government structures, the whole budget of the nation, to these committees, to this caliber of people that everybody has run away from public sector and politics thinking it's not for me. But there's been a brain drainage over the years, and it exposed me to that lack of skills and that dire need for really competent people, qualified people, and also people with a different way of thinking and will uphold certain ethics and values. And that's what drew me to politics. And I had a interesting exit out of South African Post Office, and I think that also toughened me a lot because I differed with the minister in what I thought was the direction the entity should take, and in other things that I was asked to do that I would not budge on. And it became a public spat. I don't know if you followed it. I was fired actually on national television. I did not even know. I was sitting at home and I just saw the headlines that I've been fired. So took it to court, etc. But anyway, I eventually left it. And then I was approached to head the board of MTC, Metropolitan Trading Company, at the city of Johannesburg after that. And I think this was 2019, leading to 2020. I started at the city of Johannesburg. And again, it was an exposure of a similar nature of thing where you account to a council that really some of the councillors, even as I speak, are doing matric. Some don't have matric. I don't have to go into that. Yeah. So you understand. And that's what drew me to say, look, I must be part of the solution. I need to be able to do something. I have an opportunity where I can add value. And it so happened that COPE actually was in the part of that administration in 2018, and they were heading this unit, that economic development, and MTC was under COPE. And I didn't know COPE per se intimately. I understood COPE as we all know it. You know, there is the party, but it's got issues, and and naturally all of us come from the ANC, but I wasn't active, and I was just doing my own business, running my going into boards and other things. And when the COPE leadership, after having worked, I think I had worked with them for about 6 months or so, the MMC of COPE, and he approached me to say, look, I need to have a discussion with you. I've seen how you work, etc. And I would like you to meet our president and, our chairperson of the region, of the province as well. And I said, no problem, I can meet them. And I went to meet them, and what they presented to me was, it turned my perspective around COPE. I understood the issues that it had gone through, what they are trying to do. And what moved me the most was that, and I said this to the president and the chairperson at the time, the fact that you appointed me without wanting to know my political affiliation. You just looked at my CV, I was interviewed, and I was given this opportunity to lead the board. For me, that tells me that the party is different. You are serious about really attracting credible people, irrespective of, their political affiliation. Yes. And if that is the case, and you're willing to put somebody in such a critical position because you feel I'll add value, I'm willing to join the party. Okay. And that's how I joined COPE, Yeah. And we worked very well. And then leading up to the elections of 2021, then they called me again to say, look, we think you would make a good mayor for the city of Johannesburg. I never thought I would be a mayoral candidate. And I said, okay, I never thought about it. The idea grew. First time I was like, not really. Yeah. But, you go to sleep, you think about it. And, I said, okay, perhaps going into council, I would add more value than, working from the outskirts and with boards and reporting into council. And I understood what has been really paining me around the caliber of people that are running. That we're looking at the budget at the time, I think it was 77 billion. Yeah, and then you look at the 270 plus councillors that are supposed to be custodians of this thing, this complexity and what needs to happen with it, and smart cities, etc. And at the time I had started with my PhD, in management of innovation and technology with Da Vinci, which I'm still in the process now. And so I thought, okay, it's fine because this is my line of studies, and it's really around evolving a lot of broadband and 4IR leading to 5IR into the municipalities and having it serve the broader communities than a select few. And I thought, okay, running for a mayor and having that background and, other experiences that I have would stand me in good stead to add value. And that's how I agreed. I ran as a mayoral candidate for COPE. Unfortunately, I did not win. But as the Lord would have it, we have coalitions. And I ended up being a chair of chairs in the multi-party government. And, of course, now going into the government of local unity, I am the speaker. But I think to add more to who is Colleen again, I'm a mother of 2 boys and a wife as well. And yeah, I enjoy reading a lot and going to watch people play soccer and do all sorts of physical exercise, because mine is really reading. I really don't enjoy much running around, etc. But like traveling and, I think studying is just a passion of mine. I'm always studying something. And my hope is to make a difference, in the city of Joburg, and trusting that in future I can make a difference nationally as well.
All right. Well, that's such a beautiful journey that you've just described. I mean, looking at your list of accolades, your qualifications, it really does feed into the person that you are. And my next question was going to be, how did you move from business and entrepreneurship into politics? So I think we've covered that quite well. Talk to me about your journey within the party. Just the other day, you had a media briefing on behalf of the party in the province, and you're telling me that not so long ago you had just joined the party. So chat me through that rise of Colleen Makhubele as a COPE leader.
Yeah, that has been a sharp rise, I must say, within COPE. Of course, I started off as a mayoral candidate in the region of Joburg. I was not in the structure itself, as in the regional executive structure, no. And but the regional executive then wanted to co-opt me, but I said, let me not. I would like to watch, understand, and let me focus on being a councillor, because I have found there's a lot that happens in council that needs your attention. And if you also have party responsibilities, there could sometimes be conflict. And they understood that. So I've been working very well as just a normal councillor of COPE, but of course an ex-officio member of the executive committee. And I think being a councillor and being a speaker now, automatically then you become a leader, whether you have a official position or not, because of my standing within the government structure. So I began to then lead the region and really trying to revive the structures within the region, etc. And the province felt, look, they have confidence in me, even national had confidence in me, and they felt that I should represent the party, especially at IEC, in terms of really assisting to determine who do we bring in, to represent the party in the various government structures and municipalities where we are. I think we've got about 13 councillors or so around the nation, and there's always movement of in and out, and for various reasons. And we always have to be on the lookout for the best talent and, recruiting the caliber of people that we want, especially the middle class and those that have the potential to be leaders as well, if the opportunity presents itself. And so I've been very much involved in really selling the party to some of my former colleagues or colleagues or friends, my age group, are not interested in politics for good reason. Every time we hear politics, it's corruption, it's state fraud, capture. It's state capture, it's these people that are fighting. So somebody has to present politics in a manner that I think it should have been presented from the beginning. It is not a club of just these people that sing and dance and want to go out and drink and womanize and loot the state, etc. It is not. If you look around worldwide, whether it's Singapore, the United States, etc., they take political offices very seriously, and they recruit the educated. I mean, you've never seen a president of the United States less than a Harvard graduate. You go to Singapore, it's the same thing. But we have just allowed anyone to come and occupy those critical positions. Because not to say because you're educated you will be maybe the star of it all, no. But I think there's a certain level of mindset that education gives you, certain level of thinking. There are certain things that I know I will not touch or do because they will affect even my standing in some of the organizations that I belong to as a professional that upholds certain values and ethics. And I've spent years studying and building that profile and, building myself. So I would not want to jeopardize it and have nothing left of what I have worked for all my life. So I have more to lose with this. And when you find
schooling gives you that conscience.
That consciousness, yeah. So when you find people that have absolutely nothing to lose, it's very dangerous, very, very dangerous. And they will do anything to get, what they want to get their hands on. And with knowing that perhaps there's protection by a party or within the structures, etc., which we see all the time. So I'm talking more to, of course, we go to the grassroots. We do talk to even youth, elderlies, etc. I'm always, every week, every month, we are doing some sort of outreach. But I'm reaching out to more of you, more of those that are working in the banks, running their own companies, working in various entities, and I'm saying this is our country, and I am advocating even within our party, and we did it now when we wanted to appoint after Makwarela situation in Tshwane. Let's have a process, a system to vet, or of course we had a lapse of vetting, with the Makwarela issue, but to vet academically, people that we can put in these positions so that somebody looking from outside must be able to relate to me,
as their
public servant and have that confidence. So those are the kind of competent, experienced, qualified members that we're looking for. And it's interesting because COPE had such prior. But the squabbles within COPE and, this infighting has led to the decline of the party. And we're trying to revive the party, and to become an alternative for the ANC, and to become a party that if you want a speaker that can do the job well, you would want to work with COPE.
You look to COPE.
If you want a mayor that will bring that stature, the credibility, that dignity, you look to COPE. If you're looking for a president that can really uphold the values and lead and with the right qualifications, etc., you must look to COPE. So that's our vision that we're looking for, and that's what I'm driving within the party.
That was going to be my next question. You speak so highly of the COPE that you joined versus the turmoil that we're seeing recently. Yeah. How does that make you feel? What is your assessment of the party sort of degenerating in this manner?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the members that have been terminated, and these are senior members of the party, and I say it with the utmost respect because they've served the party since its inception, However, I think the COPE that I believed I joined and we're trying to build is no longer represented by them and the COPE that they're looking for. And the decision to terminate them is the right one. But I think what adds to the confusion and this negativity around it, and you can even name it degeneration, is because of what is going on in the media, the back and forth, and, them airing dirty linen, threats and accusations that is truly unfortunate and unbecoming. And it just clearly tells you that those are not the kind of leaders that we wanted in the party. And they did want to illegally take over the party from the president. You have seen it when they were suspended prior because they wanted the president out because he was sick, etc. And that's not how you do it. And when they failed with that, they went ahead to, opened these legal structures. There's interim regional, this interim that. So they're running a parallel. Yeah. It's almost like we've got a parallel. Two COPEs are running at the same time.
We get confused. Which COPE is the actual COPE?
Exactly. I mean, when we had the media briefing 2 days ago, some of the editors and journalists didn't come because they said, look, we got a message to say this year the illegitimate COPE.
Because they haven't been elected anyway, those people. How are they speaking on behalf of Gauteng? So we were quite confused.
They are creating a huge mess, and it's just misinformation, and it's a deliberate attempt. And I'm saying that if indeed, let's just say, for instance, they are the legitimate COPE and they want to remain in the party. Number one, there's a provision that has been given 14 days appeal, and we'll sit down around the table and talk, because those kind of internal process for mediation were afforded to them. You are not taking up that opportunity to make an appeal and restore relationship. And now you go ahead and rubbish the very same party in the media, kill the confidence that we're trying to build, with our residents and our citizens through the media. And I'm asking myself, even if you were to take over this COPE, you are destroying it.
What will you be left with?
What would you be left with? Because so what's the point? So, and those are the questions that we're asking ourselves. And there will be legal processes that will come after this as well, from the national leadership. So it's truly, it's sad to part in this way, but I do believe that the CNC is right, is correct, and they made the right decision. My only regret with it is that they were indecisive for a long time. This should have happened last year already. Then the damage would not be this much. And a lot of our members were also then misled, deceived. So we're at a point where we must also now reach out and go and explain these things to individual members that may have been manipulated or didn't see it properly, and they have passionately negatively joined that side as well, and that's causing confusion. So we are trying to, we had a press briefing trying to clean it up, and of course they've continued on that path of,
they have their own briefing on Sunday.
So we're here, and we can't stop anyone. It's their freedom to go and express and do what they need to do. But it is damaging the brand a lot, and it's worrying for us. It's worrying. But I think what is most important, which is what we are talking about now with the president and the current CNC, is that we have to have a leadership change and refresh our leaders, and they know that we must go to congresses, because that will shift the focus from the negativity that we are seeing. You see, now the attention is here because that's the only thing happening. But as soon as we get underway to say this is perhaps our conference and these are the leaders that we are looking to contest, etc., it takes the positive attention now towards the right direction. So once again, you work with old men and they take their time. I was telling my president the last time to say, every time I must just pinch my, we young people, and I consider myself young. And my son doesn't think so. He thinks 44 is old. I said, I'm still very young.
Life begins at 40.
They don't understand that. I was telling President, we want to move, and we want to move today.
Young people are agitated.
Yes, we are truly, truly agitated with them, and we want them. Yes, they've taken the right decision, but please take the next one as well, because we have to get to the point where we finalize our leaders that are going to take us to 2024 and start to sell that story and the purified COPE, etc., instead of focusing on this side of the negativity.
Yeah. Speaking of Ntate Lekota, how is your relationship with him? Are you quite close?
Yeah, we are quite close. I consider him a mentor of mine, and since I joined COPE, we've always enjoyed a very, very good relationship. I must say he's not an easy man to convince and to deal with, but I found him to be a man who will be fair, a man, I think even his age says that he will be slow in making decision. but when he makes it, it will be the right one. And that's my frustration with him, he knows. But other than that, we truly enjoy a very good relationship, and I have a lot of respect and honor for him. And I must say, if it was not for Ntateli Kota, the time when the former Deputy President Madisha and Bloom wanted to fire me for joining the government of local unity, if you remember when we shifted,
yes,
I would not be at COPE because guns were out blazing for me, because I am a threat to them and what they want to do with the party. Remember, Madisha has always seen himself as the next president of the party.
Yes.
And that is the push. And between him and Bloom, I think that's another fight that was going to come, because all of them see themselves there. But what I believe in is that at the right time, it will happen. I do have ambitions to lead the party, no doubt about that. If it is not this time, I know the next round at the right time it will happen. But what is important is that I've been entrusted with a leadership position, even in the province. And
you're the IEC correspondent.
IEC correspondent, and also this responsibility to really be the face, of the party, and make sure that in government, and we are pushing the narrative of the party. And I've been given that uninhibited space, to of course I consult, but put my ideas forth, do as I think will best serve the interest of the party. And I do believe that I haven't disappointed them up until now, and will continue in that path. Mistakes may happen, but they have truly given me the leeway such that I can go anywhere and speak on behalf of the party. Hence, they even asked me to speak on behalf of national as well, and it's not a small responsibility. I take it with the greatest gratitude and honor. So I'm grateful. I know in other parties it doesn't happen that way. It doesn't. You've got your boundaries.
Start from the ground up, elected by structures.
Yes, and if you're a councillor, you only go that far, that's it. If you want to communicate something, you take it to this, that.
From region to province to national.
Yes, and I'm not that kind of a person who must be inhabited, I don't...
You like free reign.
That's it. Right. Without being rogue.
Okay. We spoke this week with the so-called Defiant trio, and they had plethora of things to say about you. Things such as they are aware of your ambitions to lead the party sometime in the future, and are saying that they find it sort of unfair that your proximity to Ntateli Kota sort of gives you an unfair advantage over members who have been in the party and served from inception, who have been elected by branches of COPE across the country. And they're saying that there is a level of you abusing that relationship. They were telling me about the situation to replace the former mayor of Tshwane, Makwarela. So Mzwandile Hleko alleges that when the time came to find a suitable replacement for a peer councillor Yekope that side, that you removed him as the party's correspondent to the IEC, and you placed yourself in order to advocate, in order to, he used this word, tarnish the name of Justice Sifanyetso, with the allegations that he has 2 ID numbers and that he has a criminal record, because you wanted to create favorable conditions to have Offense Mwalusi being placed as the councillor that side. So we have the responsibility of putting these allegations to you and seeing whether there's any truth to them. So I'm going to go through the list. I need you to know what has been said about you. So that's the first one. And apparently after you successfully placed Mr. Mwalusi, you then put back Hleko's name as the correspondent on behalf of the party to the IC nationally. Did that take place?
Sure. I don't even know where to start. I think what they are correct about is what I already said. I do have ambitions to lead the party.
Sure.
And but I do understand that ambitions must be controlled. You must be ready you must be trained and mentored. And that's really my proximity to the president. And I stay very close to him because this is the man who has not only led COPE for the past almost 13 years. This is the man that has been leading the nations, was the chairperson of the ANC at some point. He was a minister of defense. He was at the UDF then before Mandela and them were released. He led the student movements also. He's been in various positions of leadership since he was young, and politically, so there's so much wealth that you learn from him. And you don't sit with Ntateli Kota and go home without having learned something new. So they are correct. I stay very close to him because I choose to, and I make it a point that every month I must see him, I must meet with him. And mainly because he's also an old man, and he has not been well. And these are the kind of people that you treasure and want to seek to extract as much as possible, because who knows how much time that any of us have, especially at that age, and it's been dealing with certain things. So they are correct on that part. Abuse is subjective. I don't know what they mean by abuse, so I can't respond to that. But what I can talk to, I don't place myself as an IEC representative. It's the party that places you there. And the letter is signed by province, it's signed by the president, and it places me there. So if that was also as a result of being close to the president, I don't know. But the decision was made that I must be at the IEC. And the replacement of Sifanyetso, Sifanyetso's case is a sad one for him because he put himself in this position. He was, after Makwarela, I think, next on the list. And when he was supposed to go in, the party asked him, because all of us go through the vetting process, we must fill in the IEC forms, etc. And I think he thought it's automatic that perhaps you are put in there. And when all sorts of these allegations came, he was invited. There were 11 people that wanted that position. And the process was run by an independent electoral college that the province, the chairperson of the province and secretary had put together. I don't even know some of the people that were in that electoral college, except for maybe the secretary of the region, etc. But there were, I think, about 2 or 3 other independent people. That everybody was invited to say, if you are interested, submit your CV. And they will first look at the CV and then they will do their own vetting. CVs were submitted, Sifanyetso does not submit. Vetting is done, Sifanyetso is called upon to say, look, we're picking up issues here. It's not me. You go to the police station and punch in his ID number. You don't have to hear it from me. Sifanyetso was invited even to say, okay, give us an affidavit, signed oath that this is not true and correct.
Sure.
Sifanyetso did not even submit one paper. Now, Ntleko and Sifanyetso have this relationship that perhaps, when you have a common enemy, it becomes closer, because I became a common enemy. And I told Ntleko this to say, this guy must comply. Even the province, the chairperson of the province will speak for himself when the time comes. Wrote to this young man and also to Ntleko, everybody must be submitting this. Sifanyetso did not. So when province made the decision to appoint Ufenze Mwalusi, I execute that decision. I don't go by what Ntleko says or wishes or desires or what Sifanyetso says or thinks. And if he wishes to challenge that, he must challenge it and then prove what he submitted to the Electoral College, the affidavit. He can even post it online.
Leak it to journalists.
Leak it to journalists to say, this is the affidavit that I submitted, this is my criminal record, it's clean or whatever. It doesn't have to be Colleen. So that's where I leave it with Sifanyetso. And this issue of he has been put back, honestly, I don't know. I'm hearing it now because I didn't listen to their thing. As far as I know, I'm the IEC representative. If they were, I'm aware that there was a letter, I think you would have seen. There was a fraudulent letter that was allegedly signed by the president that was removing me from IEC also as a councillor in the city of Joburg.
Yes.
And President went to open a case because nobody knows where that letter came from. And surprisingly, it was sent by Ntleko's office, to IEC and also to the city of Johannesburg. And copied on that email to IEC and to the city was Madisha. And our question is, why, if they noted that, and perhaps if they noted that's not the president's signature, etc., didn't they alert? They all kept quiet.
No one flagged it.
No one flagged it. So I can't comment on it because, of course, it's under investigation. Sure. That's as far as I know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. No, thank you for clarifying that. And your involvement in that scenario. Is Offense Malusi your partner?
Offense is my partner.
Okay.
It's not a secret.
Okay.
The party has always known that. And I know they want to sensationalize it.
Yeah.
Offense is my partner. Has been a member of COPE ever since I joined COPE as well.
Oh, you joined at the same time?
We joined at the same time. Even his membership is there, his paid up membership, etc. So it's not somebody who just came now today.
It's made to seem as though you were planning this power couple rule of these
If we're a power couple, I can't help it. It's just what it is. But I'm not going to make any excuses or denial. Offense is my partner, and he's doing very well in the city of Johannesburg, and all the councillors are really having positive reviews. Even the party, city of Tshwane, have even informed the party itself. And that is the caliber of leadership that we are looking for, irrespective of how the opportunity comes. Ultimately, it's up to you as a person, how you take that and run with it, so that you prove people I'm credible, I'm supposed to be here and I can carry this responsibility. You don't then fail at the scene and not rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
So we are quite satisfied and happy.
I think with the election of Tshwane Mayor Silius Brink, we missed out on witnessing a mayor of the city of Tshwane and a speaker of the city of Johannesburg in one household. I think that would have been quite something to witness.
Yeah,
I don't think it happens often.
Yeah, of course, that is not the, ultimate plan or desire. But if it happens, let God be glorified.
Yes. All right. Okay, yes. Speaker. The next allegation, I think you've also addressed the fact that you are now speaking on behalf of the party in the province. And they were like, how are you Gauteng leadership when you haven't been elected through the structures? I think we've dealt with that. Bringing it to the city of Johannesburg now, these allegations that you have unqualified staff in your office, I know they've mentioned Miss Amina Williams, who's your PA. They've mentioned Sitole, who's your chief of staff. Are the allegations true? That the people that you have supporting you aren't qualified?
Totally, completely false. But let me start here. Political office, and you have a mayor who does not have matric.
Sure.
You don't need qualification for political office, because those are not normal HR appointments that you will do through the city. This is a political office. And if you go to any of those offices that you see, MMCs, mayors, etc., you don't even need a matric.
And the talent recruitment policy sort of allows for that.
It allows for that, not just here, but anywhere in any municipality. Because it's a political office, I appoint whomever I want. But that is also not true. Amina just graduated now. And I think the error that they made, she finished her qualifications, I think it was last year, December. I think that graduation was early this year. When she came in, she was still studying. She had not finished her qualifications. And it was blown out of proportion, saying she misrepresented, whatever. She went through the whole disciplinary process and she was found not to have...
has GIFIS concluded that investigation?
GIFIS has concluded that investigation. It's done. She went through the disciplinary, etc., and, they can talk to you around that.
Sure.
Let it not even be me.
Sure.
Let it be GIFIS telling you the outcome of that. Stole has qualifications. He was a, at JMPD, a policeman for many, many years. So he's got matric, he's that police qualifications, I don't know what it is. And now he's busy with some, since early this year, public administration course adverts.
Okay.
So, you know, a lot of things are said, and I don't respond mainly because I just feel it's a waste of my energy, honestly. Because I know there's an attempt to find something on Colleen and rubbish what I do, rubbish the office. And sometimes perhaps we do make mistakes genuinely, then you can run with that, I'll admit. But this one's, honestly, and it just puts these innocent people that I invited to come and serve in my office in this negative spotlight that they don't deserve.
And they didn't ask for.
They didn't ask for. And they're serving me and the office and the residents through my office to the best of their ability. There's nothing I want from these people. And any councillor, anyone, anyway, can give you an account of their interactions, especially with these two individuals. Outstanding. Outstanding. But politics are politics. You know, we all have to suffer some of those evil stuff that comes with politics.
Yeah. Who do you think is behind this campaign to tarnish the Colleen Makhubele brand and legacy? Do you think it's this trio in your party? Do you think it's an internal party fight that they're taking to the city? Or do you think it's coming from other political parties? Who's fueling all of these allegations against you? Do you know? Do you suspect
I think
anyone?
it can, I suspect everyone at this stage.
Yeah.
We just had a press briefing now for the GFIS unit. And one of the evidence that was brought to my office, and that's why we started the independent investigation into this unit and what is its role, what it has done, the conduct, etc. There's a 200-page report that was done illegally on me. My whole life is in that report. And it was done by the DI administration. And you wonder who has that information, what do they want to do with it, why did they do it in the first place? So it's political parties, it's people being used by political parties, and it is perhaps even the trio or beyond the trio within my party.
Sure.
So you can never know where all of these are coming from. All I know is that my life is under a microscope. And any move that I make is being watched and scrutinized. And I have no issues about that.
Okay. All right. There are cases opened against you, allegedly. We hear this from sources at the Public Protector, with the SIU as well. There's also a very disgruntled former employee of yours. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about.
Who is it?
Pati Wentleleni.
Oh, okay, I know the lady, yeah.
Yes, who says, as the media, let's look into your office and how you treat your staff. So many allegations about how you badly mistreat your staff and how no one is happy in the office, and you're this boss lady out there, but you sort of, I don't know, put them down in the office and you criticize them harshly, and you are just an unpleasant person to work with. What's happening? Is your staff happy with you? How are your relations?
Don't ask me. You must go ask the staff.
Should I ask them?
Ask the staff.
Okay.
Whether they are happy with me or not.
All right.
And one thing that I will say, I don't compromise on the quality that I want out of the work. That's why we excel as an office.
Sure.
And I expect people to do what they're hired to do. Without any stake, because that's the kind of foot that I put forward, and everybody in the office represents me. And I have found that those that are lesser in giving that excellence always have a lot to say. And Pat Ndleleni, unfortunately, she resigned out of her own will. Perhaps those were the reasons for resignation. I can't even comment on that. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
Because even in her resignation letter, what she stated were her reasons for resignation is not what you are saying to me. And that letter was given to the city manager, etc. So I'm not interested in those kind of things. For me, I've got people that have been working with me all of these years. And it's not. I'm not going to tell you that it's an easy office to work.
Sure.
You know, it's a difficult environment because you are dealing with multiple things that come at the same time.
Yeah.
I look after 270 councillors. We've got 17 committees that sit, and we've got community that we must serve, and I run council, and other responsibilities that I have as well in terms of outreach, etc. So at any given point in time, everybody must be on their toes doing what they need to do in order for the office to function. And I expect that excellence, like I said. So her opinion is her opinion, and I don't want to comment on Ndleleni. We had a very good relationship with Ndleleni until the day she resigned and sent a long letter, which, like I said, had nothing to do. In fact, I was in hospital when she resigned. I think I had an op, but it's not something that I'm worried about, you know.
Are you aware of the cases that are open against you?
I am not. What else you can know? They have not been brought to my attention.
Yeah, okay. I even have a case number.
Yeah, I'm not aware.
But I'll share that with you if you're interested.
But look,
in that.
these things of opening cases, I'm sure you know by now that it's almost like it's a new politicking tool.
Yeah.
I've opened a case. And
I think it's nothing until an investigation is done.
Yes, and there are findings out of that. Because I'm not going to spend sleepless nights. If you tomorrow decide to go and open a case, must I now, let the evidence come of what Colleen has done. It's one thing to say we open a case, this is the evidence, this was the outcome of the case, and therefore there's prosecution. Now we are talking.
Sure.
Right now, there's nothing really to comment on.
All right. Let's chat about the state of the city and its current calibre of leaders. Are you happy with how sort of the coalition has placed people to represent this administration?
Look, the government of local unity, I think, has done its best, and they have really put some of our best people forward, and especially in the mayoral committee. If you look at MMs of transport, whom we never thought it would be. Yes, look at how he has come up. Like I said to you, in relation to the councillor in Tshwane, sometimes the opportunities may come in a strange way. But if you rise to the occasion, people start to respect you and see you as credible and being there. The problem comes when people are given opportunities, whether it's luck or, God's blessing or etc. But then you flop at the scene. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. You don't show up and lead and provide that management and whatever expertise that are required in that position, and discharge your duties as you ought to. Then there's a problem. I find all the MMCs that are there, whether we had question marks when we started or not, I have been pleasantly myself surprised.
Sure.
I look at even the EFF MMC Tswaku. He has really just become a star and taken his work seriously. And this is what I'm talking about even within my office. And these are people that I know, they demand nothing else but excellence, nothing else but service. If I call you in my office at 12 midnight and you are not there, it's a problem, because it is what we are supposed to do. It's not it's not an option.
Sure.
A councillor cannot call me to say my house is burning, people are outside of my house, speaker, I need assistance at 12 and my phone is off. Do you understand? Somebody's life is at danger. So equally so, if I call you as an employee in my office who's responsible to ensure that you dispatch security, etc., and you're not available, I'm going to have a problem with you tomorrow morning. And if you think I'm being a bee because I'm a woman, you know what? I'm not going to entertain that.
Sure.
For me, what I want to see is that what we signed up for, we do. And I always say in the office, these political offices are not for everybody.
Not for the faint-hearted.
It's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for even I struggle to balance it with my home life, and I have to deal with the guilt of my kids, etc. But if your priority is still at the stage where you need to be home and all of that, I understand, I get it. I'm a mother, I'm a woman. I maybe am privileged because I can get assistance, and they will need me emotionally as a mother, but maybe they will not lack physical care or food, but maybe you are not at the stage where you can serve in this office and do what you know. And you have to be honest with yourself instead of then wanting to come and and turn it back on you. And turn it back on me, because this is the requirement of the job. Sunday, I don't know when was the last time I even went to my own church. So it's a bit difficult. Even now we're supposed to be on recess. Other councillors are on holiday. I can't even take my children to anywhere because I have to deal. Yes, and those are the things that I must be able to explain. Oh, you'll go to Kruger at this time. You can't go now. So people don't understand. You can't always have your cake and eat it too. And when I remind you of that, I'm not a bad person. I'm just doing what I need to do to make sure that, yes, I don't flop, because if you flop, it's a chain of, Yeah. So, I think we've got really good MMCs, to bring it back to your question. And I've also watched MMC Masuku as well, really outstanding and doing great work. If you can see, present. And we've appointed a city manager, we appointed a CFO, and we're busy with the CEO. This is something that for almost 2 years, the DI administration could not do. In this short period of time, you can see the amount of work that is being pushed through. So I'm quite pleased with the positions that the administration has placed us all in. Okay, you speak very highly of your MMCs. I haven't heard you say a word about the man in charge, the mayor. The mayor. Look, I'm impressed with the mayor. Okay. I think they've been, in the beginning, there was a bit of wobbling, but he has come into his space and he has really grown to embrace that position and run with it. Of course, we are still at the beginning stages. A lot is yet to be seen, in how he's going to implement the plans that he presented at the soccer and really the budget that was presented to us. But I think his confidence has grown in the past few days or so. And he has risen to the occasion, and I trust if he continues like that, he will be able to do a lot for the city, of course, with the support of all of us and the MMCs. Yeah. We have two more questions, and I'll let you go. Just quickly, the role of COPE in the Government of Local Unity and that coalition. How are the dynamics there? Do you find that you have space to fully contribute to the direction that the coalition should be taking? Is COPE heard when they do voice out concerns? What's taking place there? And I'm going to make a comparison with how it was maybe in the multi-party, so that you understand. I do believe there is a huge improvement, not just COPE, even one-seat parties in that coalition, in terms of us being heard, being considered, and our constituencies being serviced and being prioritized. As compared to the multi-party, where you were just vote contributors. You did not have a say. You would be told, this is the report that we are going to vote in council. We are going to vote this or else. You're voting cows. We are voting cows. Literally, we're voting cows. It wasn't good at all. And even if a report comes for a decision, you have a different opinion, it would not. And there was a time where we had a huge conflict and we're told, I've consulted with Helen Zille and this is the direction we're taking. Goodness. And we'll be like, but what is Madame Zille doing in the city of Johannesburg? We are the councillors here that are responsible. Legally, we have an oath of office, to make decisions here. Yes. And so those are the kind of things. But To say that we have reached a point where we are totally satisfied with our contribution, I would not be telling the truth.
Sure.
I think there is still the element of we're a bigger party, and perhaps it's inherent, in having more numbers and feeling your contribution.
Are quite new, so
yes. So you would find, parties like ANC, EFF, and PA, they have more of a bigger voice, than us. But because we are coming from zero base, where we are, it's good. But I think going forward, we have to then iron out to say, how do all of us contribute equally to the table and to the direction. So that's what it is. But I find that when it comes to legislature, truly they have given COPE the space, because myself and of course ANC has the whip and Good has the chair of chairs. We are able to make decisions, of course we consult, but unhindered, and they trust our judgment in a lot of issues.
Yeah, okay. No, I think it's nice evolving from just being viewed as a party that's helping us govern to sort of navigating and finding a voice and making contributions in that regard. So I think it's quite a massive step in the right direction.
Certainly.
Yes.
Certainly.
Are you our next COPE president? Will we be seeing you in Parliament soon? Should Ndate Lekota step down to take care of his health and look towards retirement age? There will be a seat there that's open. Rumor has it that you're poised to take over and then have Tom Mofokeng replace you at the city. What's happening there?
Look, there's a lot of rumors around that. Like I said, I certainly do have the ambitions, to take over. And we've got a national CNC that will sit and decide, of course, with the inputs of various provinces. The first part is who will replace our former deputy president.
Sure.
And at the time, I think for now, we can't even talk of replacing the president before the elections.
Sure.
So those are the processes that are running internally. And whether I'll be the right person to go there now or not, I'm not sure, because I occupy a very critical and strategic position here in the city of Johannesburg.
Sure.
And elections are just 10 months away, So those are the things that the national leadership is weighing options on. But in terms of then replacing Tate Lekota, the most contested position.
Yes.
I don't think anyone can tell now, because it has to go through a Congress. It's the democratic process that must unfold.
Sure.
Of course, we'll put our names. I'm sure there are others that will put their names in the hat to say, I'm available to serve as the president of the party. And just trust that you garner enough support, mobilize enough to, give me that vote that pushes me up there.
Okay.
And and a lot of prayer too.
Definitely.
Yes. I'm known to pray and anoint myself.
Anoint your office.
So they are right as well. So there are some things that I thought it was just between us, but it went out.
It went out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much, Speaker. This was a very insightful conversation. I think it was about time that we introduced you properly to our readers, not just them learning of your political moves and sort of articles that we put out, but getting to know the woman behind the role and who Colleen Makhubele is, and her role or political leaning, as well as going into her other interests. I know you are quite an advocate for women empowerment, so I think it was quite important to sort of put that out on our platform. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for having come here and having this conversation with us. I think it was quite a good one.
Thank you. I
appreciate it. And I hope we'll keep our relations going forward.
Certainly.
And you won't be a stranger that I see meters away in council. Thank you very much.
Now you're welcome to come have coffee with me during recess or during that caucus breaks as well.
I
appreciate your time. Thank you so much to the team as well. Sure.
Well, there you have it. That is all the time we have on the Sunday Times Politics Week. Weekly this week. And we have our guest to thank for joining us this week, the City of Johannesburg Speaker, Colleen Makhubele. We appreciate your time. I'm Sisanda Mbolekwa for Sunday Times Politics Desk. Until next time.